A man faces hyenas to save a lion cub. The pack's reaction will shock you. Sweat dripped down Marcus Kagathi's face as the merciless African sun beat upon his shoulders. After 12 years as a safari guide in Kenya's Masai Mara National Reserve, he had developed an instinct, a sixth sense that alerted him when something wasn't right in the savannah. Today, that instinct was screaming. "Do you hear that?" he asked David Oching, his assistant and driver. David tilted his head, straining. The Land Rover idled quietly. "Hyenas," David finally said, nodding eastward. "And they sound excited." Marcus grabbed his binoculars from the dashboard and scanned the rolling grasslands. Approximately half a mile away, dust rose. Through the lenses, he could make out the distinctive hunched silhouettes of spotted hyenas circling in what appeared to be a feeding frenzy. "We should check it out," Marcus decided. But no tourists today, at least. It was the reserve's quietest season, allowing him to investigate unpredictable situations. David shifted the vehicle into gear, and they bumped toward the commotion. The distinctive cackles grew louder. Marcus counted at least 8 individuals, unusually agitated. "Stop here," Marcus instructed about 50 yards away. "Let's not disturb them too much." Through his binoculars, Marcus observed the scene. Hyenas were efficient hunters, but something felt wrong. They weren't feeding typically. Instead, they appeared to be toying with something. "Pass me the long-range lens," Marcus said, reaching for David's camera. As the image came into focus, his breath caught. In the center of the hyena circle was a lion cub, probably no more than 3 months old. The tiny creature was backed against a small termite mound, swiping its paws at the approaching hyenas. Its golden fur was caked with dust. "Oh, damn," he muttered. "It's a lion cub, separated from its pride somehow." David leaned over to look at the camera display and winced. "Poor thing doesn't stand a chance." Marcus scanned the surroundings. "I don't see any adults nearby. This little one is on its own." The hyenas, emboldened, were closing their circle. One large female darted in, snapping her jaws just inches from the cub's face. "We can't just watch this happen," David said, his hand moving to the ignition. Marcus felt torn between his duty as a naturalist and his desire to protect an endangered species. Lion populations had declined by more than 40%. Each cub was precious. "Drive closer," he decided. "We'll try to scare them off with the vehicle." David gunned the engine, and the Land Rover lurched forward. The sudden noise caused several hyenas to look up, but they were too focused on their prospective meal. The vehicle rumbled to within 30 feet, and Marcus blasted the horn repeatedly. 3 smaller hyenas skittered backward, but others held their ground. "They're not budging," David observed nervously. "And we can't drive any closer without risking the cub." Marcus weighed their options. Park regulations prohibited leaving vehicles, but there were exceptions for emergencies. "I'm going out," he announced, reaching for an umbrella. David's eyes widened. "Marcus, that's insane. Those are spotted hyenas." "I know what they're capable of," Marcus replied, his voice steady. "But I know their psychology. They want easy meals, not fights." Before David could protest further, Marcus swung open the door and stepped onto the savannah. The hot air hit him. He deployed the umbrella, making himself appear larger. "Hey! Hey!" he shouted, striking the umbrella against the ground rhythmically. "Get back!" The nearest hyenas retreated a few paces, but the matriarch stood her ground, lips curling back. Marcus continued his advance, each step deliberate. He was acutely aware of the fine line he walked. 20 feet from the cub now. 15. The matriarch lowered her head in warning. Behind him, Marcus could hear David revving the engine. "Back off," Marcus commanded, locking eyes with the matriarch. For a tense moment, neither yielded. Then, with a frustrated growl, the matriarch took 2 steps backward. It was a tactical retreat, not submission. Marcus seized the moment to close the final distance. "Easy, little one," he murmured, keeping his eyes on the hyenas. I'm going to get you out of here. He slowly crouched and reached toward the cub. The tiny lion flinched, then hissed. In one swift motion, Marcus scooped it up, tucking it against his chest. The small creature squirmed briefly, then went still. The moment Marcus touched the cub, the hyena's demeanor changed. The matriarch took a step forward, prepared to charge. David. Now. Marcus called, backing away. The Land Rover roared forward, positioning between Marcus and the hyenas. He reached the vehicle, yanked open the passenger door, and dove inside, cub clutched protectively. Go, 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 he urged. David shot forward, kicking up dust. Only when they were 100 yards away did Marcus exhale fully. The cub trembled against his chest. What are we going to do with it? David asked. Take it to the conservation center, Marcus decided. They can check for injuries and radio the other guides. As he spoke, the cub lifted its head and looked directly into his eyes. Its gaze held just confusion, fear, and the simple desire to survive. Marcus knew he had made the right choice. The Mara Conservation Center hummed with activity. Dr. Amina, the lead veterinarian, immediately took charge. Male, approximately 12 weeks old, she noted. Dehydrated, but no serious injuries. You got to him just in time, Marcus. Marcus watched through the glass. He's in remarkable condition, Amina reported. But I'm concerned about his mother. A lioness would never willingly abandon a cub this age. I've already radioed the other guides, Marcus replied. Could be the River Pride. James Kamothi, the center's director, joined them. Marcus, I understand why you intervened, but you know our protocols about interference. This wasn't predation, Marcus countered. This was a vulnerable endangered species in distress. James's expression softened. I know. I'd have probably done the same. But the board will want a full incident report. I'll take the morning patrol tomorrow, Marcus volunteered. Cover the eastern sector again. That night, Marcus couldn't sleep, replaying the scene. At dawn, he set out alone. 2 hours into his search, a movement caught his eye. A herd of gazelle was alert. He raised his binoculars. There, nearly camouflaged, was a lioness. She moved with purpose, occasionally pausing to scent the air. Base, I may have located a lioness approximately 3 kilometers east of yesterday's position, he radioed. He approached cautiously. The lioness appeared thin, her teeth swollen with milk. 2 more lionesses emerged, followed by a magnificent dark-maned male. Marcus recognized them, the River Pride. The male was Niati, identifiable by a distinctive scar. But something was wrong. The lionesses moved restlessly. One would walk away, call softly, then return agitated. Base confirmed. River Pride, Marcus reported. Behavior indicates they're searching for something. Excellent, James responded. Return to base for extraction planning. Back at the center, the team developed their strategy. The cub paced his temporary enclosure. The timing needs to be perfect, James explained. We'll tranquilize the cub lightly, then place him in a scent-marked area where the pride will find him naturally. We should set up on this ridge, Marcus suggested, pointing to a map. Good visibility, close to where I observed them. First light tomorrow, James decided. At 4:30 a.m., the team assembled. The cub was given a mild sedative. Vital signs stable, Amina confirmed. They set out in pre-dawn darkness. As they reached the ridge, Marcus pointed. There, he whispered. The pride, right where we hoped they'd be. Vital signs still stable, Amina reported. James nodded. We're go for reintroduction. Marcus, you're up. Marcus transferred the cub to a harness on his back. He began his careful descent into the valley. 300 meters from target, he whispered. The cub's getting active. Copy that, Amina responded. He continued, every sense heightened. Niati rose to his feet, his massive head turned in Marcus's direction. Hold position, James instructed. Let him acclimate. The cub let out a sharp, distinctive call. The largest lioness's head snapped up. The mother recognized the call. Marcus whispered urgently. I need to release now. Understood. Proceed. Marcus placed the container on the ground, retreated, and activated the remote release. The door swung open. The cub cautiously emerged, standing on the savanna grass. The reaction was immediate. The mother lioness let out a deep rumbling call. The cub responded with his own high-pitched mewl. She began moving toward him. Back away slowly, James instructed. Marcus retreated. The mother chuffed softly. The cub bounded forward. The reunion brought a lump to Marcus's throat. She enveloped her cub, sniffing and licking him. The other lionesses approached. Niadi remained aloof, watching Marcus. Then, Niadi began walking directly toward him. Don't run, James cautioned. Maintain your position. Marcus stood his ground. At 30 yards, Niadi stopped. Then, in a gesture that defied conventional understanding, Niadi lowered his massive head, almost a nod, before turning and walking back to his pride. Did you see that? Marcus breathed. We got it all on camera, James confirmed. I've never seen anything like it. Return to the vehicle. Mission accomplished. The following weeks brought international attention. Marcus maintained a professional distance. 6 months later, during a routine patrol, Marcus found himself in the same sector. He crested a familiar rise and raised his binoculars. There lay the pride. Several cubs, including a half-grown male with a distinctive ear marking, played nearby. Niadi rested on a slight elevation. As if sensing observation, the male lion raised his head and looked directly toward Marcus's position. For a moment, across the distance, man and lion regarded each other. Then Niadi rose and moved to join his family. Marcus lowered his binoculars with a smile. Conservation wasn't about creating unnatural bonds. It was about ensuring these magnificent animals could continue their lives as nature intended. He started the engine and turned toward home, leaving the lions to their wild existence. The encounter had reinforced his commitment. A lion cub would grow to adulthood in his natural environment, contributing to a vulnerable population. That was enough. For now, in this small corner of the wild world, a family was intact, thriving as they had for countless generations. That was what mattered.